Imagine your marriage healthy, thriving, and fun again. Welcome to the Coach Martez and Woodrina Show, the ultimate power couple helping you with understanding love, accepting truth, and changing perspective. Certified professional life and marriage coach Martez Layton and licensed therapist Woodrina Layton are here to help you step up your game when it comes to marriage, relationships, and so much more. With 30 years of marriage under their belt and a proven track record of mending broken bonds, you can rely on Coach Martez and Woodrina to empower you and your loved ones to have a strong connection for life. The Coach Martez and Woodrina Show starts now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome on this wonderful Winning Wednesday.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Coach Martez.
And I'm licensed therapist Woodrina Layton.
And you're listening to the Coach Martez and Woodrina Layton Show, understanding love, accepting truth, and changing your perspective on Transformation Talk Radio.
Yes.
Stay with us for the next hour as we share part 1 of the 7 proven steps to restore love and trust in your relationship. Today, we will share the first 3 steps, and next week, we will share the remaining 4 steps with you.
And as we do every week, we're looking forward to having an enjoyable conversation around walking out our journey of love, life, and fulfilling purpose as we share with you practical tips, new insights, and perspectives that will help you to improve your relationships, communicate better, walk in forgiveness, and just simply love one another better.
That's good news right there.
That's real good.
News. That's good news. So before we get started, let's just share a fun fact about ourselves. Like we always say, we want everybody just to kind of get to know us a little bit. And so with that being said, Woodrina, I know we've talked about different things, but what is a book that you've read that has had an impact in your life?
Okay. Well, a book that I've read that has had an impact in my life, one of the books was Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer.
Yeah, we love Joyce Meyer.
Yeah, that book at a time, it was back when I read it was back in the 90s, but that book had a major impact in my life because by my genetic makeup is a negative thinker. I'm always quick to go to the negative. And that book really helped me with what she would call my stinky thinking.
I remember.
So basically it's like, so now when those thoughts come, I'll say probably about 80% out of 100. When they come, I can like easily refute the negative thoughts. But sometimes, I'm human. So sometimes I might, I might not defeat the thought, but 80% out of the time I ain't.
And I remember that was during the time that you were actually very active with Joyce Meyer, because I remember her in St. Louis.
Yeah, I was traveling.
We drove up and even wanted to volunteer at her events. Oh no, you was a big Joyce Meyer
That's
fan.
So true. That's so
true. Okay, I remember that.
Yeah. Okay, so I know you're an avid reader. Like Martez reads way more than I read. That's like a hobby of his, and it's not of mine.
Right.
But I still read because I'd have to read to, for my improvement. So Martez, what's a book that you've read that one of the books that has had an impact on your life?
Right. And so, I went back early, because again, Woodrina said that I'm an avid book reader, but I want you to know, although, like several people, when I was in high school, honestly, I didn't read. I did footnotes, and I pretty much was probably just, cheating. I'm gonna just tell you straight up. I didn't read in high school. I passed, but I didn't read. So one of the first books that I read, and this was back in 1995, was by Prophet Bernard Jordan, and it was What Every Woman Needs to Know About Men.
Oh yeah.
And I remember that was like life-changing because he talked about the 5 stages of men going from a male to a boy to a man to a husband and to a father. And I had never thought about those things. And it's a really good book, and to the point that even, my next book that I'm writing, is kind of founded on some of those things. So just kind of look forward to that next year. But definitely what every woman should know about a man. that was one of the ones that changed my life.
That's good. So before we get started on our 7 proven steps to restore love and trust in your relationship, I want to go back because we had got a question that was sent in a couple of weeks, and I just think it's important when we were talking about that segment on communication.
Right.
And so the question that someone asked was, what do you do when you have been improving your communication with your spouse, but they seem to refuse to understand that they also need to improve? They just think that you're the problem and they don't need the help. It's only you that need the help.
So you want me to answer?
Yeah, I want you to answer first.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for sending in the questions, and we actually already got some more for next week. So thank you all for sending in your questions. And again, we appreciate it. But not only can you send them in, but you can also call in, or while we're there on Facebook, just actually submit it then. This is a great question. And one of the things that I would say is, when you definitely are doing your part and you are doing 100%, a lot of times, like we said, with men, they are not as visual and really understand the dire need or where you all really are. And so the first thing I would say is you got to explain or give this person a visual that, you know what, it's about to be over. Because again, if you're really doing your part and this person is not doing theirs, most of the time in their mind, they're just taking you for a joke. They're taking you that you're not really serious, or it's not really required that they have to make this change. And so then that's when you have to be serious and you have to present it to a way to make sure they understand, look, this is not good. Because, a lot of times, a person to hear you say this is not good, but the same thing keeps happening and it keeps happening. So what you really want to do is you want to give them a visual that if this keeps happening, I want you to know this is the result of your actions of not changing.
Yes, exactly.
Again, this is going to be the future results of you not changing. And then if it's one of those people that's crazy and they just look at you and say, well, prove it to me then. That's when you need to go ahead and get ready to get you some help and just realize, okay, he thinks I'm playing. Right. I would tell you, we've had clients that said, oh yeah, he was surprised when he saw the paper sitting on the table, but I wasn't surprised because I had been telling you for months. I've been telling you for years. So that's what I would say, especially if it's a man, you got to let them know, give them an image, a visual that this is serious. And this is my cutoff point, and I'm not going back to this point. And they'd be like, "You just playing? Okay, well, you can, but you got to mean it." And that's so that's something else I would say. If they are not improving, oh man, I'm sorry. All this stuff just started coming to me now. Right. So one of the things I would say first of all is you got to let them know that you're not going to accept them not changing, because I promise you, if they're not changing, that means that's something they've been used to in the relationship where you say something, but you really don't stay with what you say. So then you said this now that, I'm changing, but you're not. You need to, first of all, acknowledge that this is not acceptable and I'm not going to continue to put up with this. And then at this point, I'm going to give you a point, and then we're going to have to take the next step, because again, this is no longer acceptable. But make sure they really understand I'm serious. And at that point, if they don't take you serious, you got to be confident enough in yourself to realize I'm going to make a drastic change and let you see how serious I really am. Yeah,
and I agree with that, because honestly, what I always tell people, once you start changing, your spouse should start changing, because normally they eventually they recognize the change and they say, I see a difference. So then they start responding to you differently. So if you have someone that's not, then it's serious. Right. So then it's like Coach Martez says, show them how serious you are. And also, if they're willing to, you all need to seek professional help as well.
And you want to get that acknowledged. And this is sometimes that will really make a person change. That's why I say, man, that's why I love, I'm telling y'all, that's why I love these questions, because it just go to activating me, but I'm just saying, you'll be surprised if you've told your spouse how you really feel, put it in writing. So what I'm saying about put it in writing, write them a letter and then sign it that you are actually acknowledging, I wrote you a letter, I explained to you how serious it was, I informed you of how much I wanted to get some professional coaching and counseling to save our marriage. And then you put a block. I'm willing, sign, or I'm unwilling. And I guarantee you now, people may say certain stuff, put it in writing. You know, and if you're, oh man, see, here we go. I'm gonna stop because this can go all off. You know what I'm saying? I promise you. I can hear Jessica like, tell Martez he's going too long. All right, so this is what I'm just saying, because this stuff is hitting me. I'm telling you, if you are not having sex like you would design your marriage, put it in writing. Put it in writing. I've asked you to make love to me. I've asked you to be a little bit more intimate, and I've asked you to actually show me a little bit more, you know, love or affection. Now I'm just trying to see, are you willing to change or are you unwilling? I promise you, put it in writing and see what they say. I'm telling you, but that's all. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I know we were talking about that question. Okay. I'm just saying, I always tell everybody, when you put things in writing and you require somebody to sign it, or I guarantee you, lights start coming on in their mind. Because like, what's she finna do with this letter? Who's she giving this letter to? Who he giving this letter to? What is he up to? Oh, people start thinking. But anyway, let me back off. Because you know what I'm saying? This ain't the Coach Martez Layton show. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Partially. So anyway, yeah, it's just, you know, we got to make sure we get into our topic for today.
Right,
but yeah, I did want us to provide an answer, and that was good. Yeah. So thank you.
So actually, please don't start sending it. Well, we want you to send the questions, but you see,
we may just have to have one segment just to answer questions. Then
you know what?
we
I
have
think
to
Dr.
see.
Pat would like that.
So let's get into our topic. You know, when trust is broken in a relationship, it can send you into an emotional whirlwind. You can just become full of anxiety and worrying and wondering if you can ever love and trust again. Right. So last week we shared our personal story of how love and trust was broken and love was lost in our relationship. So today we're going to talk about those 7 steps that we took to restore the love and trust in our relationship. Now, actually, today we're only going to share 3 of the steps.
We're going to try to, because I know sometimes you really be going long in your answers and stuff. Okay. And so then it's like we can't really get to the next point. Okay. Now, Brother McGregor and Atlanta, Georgia is listening. Now, brother be like, that be Coach always doing all the talking.
So, but we're gonna try to start with cover the first 3 today and the remaining 4 on next week. So the first step, Martez, is to resist playing the blame game.
Right.
So tell us about that.
Right. So I definitely want to talk about that, but I think you just said all of that like really like fast.
Well, okay.
You know, I'm just saying, because actually I just want to say to you honestly, if your trust has been broken, that's something that we do know. You know, what Woodrina said, we talked about it, but I know we're in a really amazing place in our relationship, but I just want to say, if your trust has been broken, what has been financial infidelity, emotional infidelity, or just whether it's in-laws or the decisions that your spouse may make without you being involved, whether with the kids. I just want you to know, first of all, we definitely know that pain and we know what that feels like. And so when we're talking about this, I do want you to know we know that pain and what that feels like. And trust is something that takes years to actually establish, and it really hurts. So I just want you to know, if these things are really going on, like you said, it does put you in a whirlwind, but I just wanted to just kind of touch that person's heart to just let you know we do understand. You know, we've been there. We truly understand that, and I'm definitely sorry you're having to go through this, but I want you to know, I promise you, when you can change your perspective, there's a way to get to a better place. I just want to say that, because that is a serious, you know, when your heart is really broken and you just feel like I can't trust this person because, you know what I'm saying? Boom, they took money out their account when they weren't supposed to. They did this when they weren't. It really hurts you.
No, it does. It does. It really hurts. And I know, you know, we're sharing these steps that helped us, but I do know in order for you to apply them in your relationship, you both have to be in a place to want to restore the love and trust.
That's so true.
One person can't do this. So, you know, so these steps are for restoring the love and trust in your relationship, and you both are working towards that, you know, want that same goal.
So that's all. I just wanted to just because I do know sometimes people could be listening and their heart may be in a really broken place, and I just didn't want them to feel as if we don't understand.
Oh,
we do.
Definitely.
This is what we do for a living with marriage coaching, marriage counseling. So we hear people's pain, and I just wanted to touch your heart to just let you know we definitely understand. And that trust is something serious.
Yeah.
But going back to what the question is,
Well, what the first
the
step
7
is.
steps, you know, you have to resist playing the blame game. And again, like what Woodrina said, these 7 proven steps that we've been using since 2009, these are steps that we've worked with couples all over the country with helping them to rebuild that love and trust. And when I say resist playing the blame game, that actually means that you can't even be willing to blame yourself, the other person, you know, whatever it was, you have to be willing to say, I'm not going to blame anyone for this. And it is a resist, because by nature, if someone hurts us, we automatically want to point at who is the cause. But in actuality, you don't want to point at who is the cause and just realize, you know what? I want to point at what's the solution.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because pointing at the person or pointing at the problem or pointing at the pain doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
But when you start pointing at, but this is the solution. So then that's what I'm going to start to focus on. You resist blaming the other person. Because actually, you know, blame distorts and causes you to just hate that individual.
It really does. If you're having constant thoughts of, you know, blaming that person, it's like, it's all their fault, he hadn't done this, you're going to constantly just have negative thoughts. And then those negative thoughts are going to cause you to have negative feelings, which is going to be hate, anger, resentment, and it's like you won't be able to move forward. So that is the first thing you have to do, is you have to like tell yourself, you know, and it's work, but I'm not gonna blame you. It creates false images, it encourages you to continue to make excuses instead of taking personal responsibility. Because it's like, what did I do that, you know, that actually played a part in this issue that we had?
That's a mouthful.
That is, because a lot of people like, well, shoot, he cheated, I ain't have nothing to do with that. That he made that, but it's like, look at what, you know, what responsibility you have to take some responsibility in that. Yes, you didn't cause that person to go out and, you know, cheat with that other person, but what was going on in your relationship? What work were you not giving your spouse or showing your spouse so that they knew that you truly loved them and appreciated them?
And that's true, even from a standpoint of even just being from a domestic like situation, is, you know, I'm stressed out and I'm just overwhelmed because my husband don't help clean. My husband doesn't help do this. The kids don't do their part. I'm just saying, it could be anything.
It can be anything.
But that you still are blaming and not realizing, you know what I need to say? What could have done differently? What could have said? What stand could have made? And if I'd have made stand weeks ago, days ago, months ago, years ago, would we be in this situation now? So again, I know it's challenging, but you have to start looking at yourself and just saying, I'm going to take responsibility for the solution, not blaming for the problem.
Exactly, because blame is going to prevent true forgiveness from happening. It's like it's going to cause you, like I said earlier, just to harbor resentment. So it's going to be hard for true forgiveness to take place, and true forgiveness has to take place in order for the love and trust to be restored.
And then you got to remember, like when we said, you know, resist playing the blame game, because again, what that blame does is, when you see that person, you don't see love. When you see the person, you don't see partner, you don't see agreement. When you see that person, you see stress. You see just gets on my nerves. You just see frustration. It's like when you walk in the room, or you know, me and the kids, or we could be somewhere, and then you call, it's like, oh, what do you, because that's what blame does. It's like, you are so much the problem, and you can't forgive a person if that's what you're saying to yourself about that person.
Exactly. So that's the first step. You want to just resist playing the blame game.
And that's in restoring love and trust. Because again, if that trust has been broken emotionally, that's called a disconnect. And once you start disconnecting, what we're trying to say is, this is how you start coming back towards one another.
Exactly.
And again, you got to resist the blame, because as long as you blaming them, you like, ain't no need to come in the bed. Ain't no need to want to go with me. Ain't no need to want to do this. You literally are just telling the person, there is no need, because I really don't even like you.
Exactly. That's good. So
Yeah,
then,
we've been there. You
yeah.
used to tell me.
Oh, well, exactly.
You
I
really
did.
like me.
I didn't
No,
like you.
I really wasn't really a good person a lot of times.
So,
I'm just saying that was.
yeah,
that was
so
something.
I do understand. Yeah, you once you it's all about changing that thought process so we can start moving back towards each other.
Mhm.
And that's part of that blame. So then the second step is granting your heart permission to forgive daily.
Wow.
Now that one is like that's a lot because with forgiveness, it's a process.
Yeah.
It's a process, but
Yeah.
forgiveness is also a
Wow.
decision.
Mhm.
So first you have to be able to make the decision, the choice to just say, I'm gonna forgive you. It may be a process before your heart is healed, but you have to allow your heart a chance to grant forgiveness. Like I tell, I probably said this before, like I tell all couples, it's like we have to learn how to walk in daily grace and forgiveness.
And I really was making you walk in that.
Oh, I know, because we're all human, but I had to get to a point to understand and realize
And
that,
really
want to do it. See, that's what I'm saying. It's a decision.
Right.
It's like
it took you some time though to come to that decision.
Exactly. But it's a decision. So it's like when people say I can't forgive, honestly, you can, because it's a decision.
Right.
So it's the term is I choose not to forgive.
Exactly.
Because it's a decision.
So
you have to be willing to just say, you know what, I'm gonna forgive.
Right. And that's the same where, what I'm saying, I don't want to get off the topic, but it's like, it's like that wife saying, it's like that wife saying, I choose not to make love to you. Exactly. That's what you need to say.
Right.
And you said that, man, why come she's so busy, she's so this, she what I'm saying? Just like you choose to forgive, you choose to say the doors of the church is not open.
Yeah, exactly. He's so funny.
So we can't worship here tonight.
Right. So you make a choice for that. So forgiveness is the same thing. It's making a choice. It's not forgetting or condoning, but you're making a choice to forgive. Yeah, you're setting boundaries. It's like, because I don't want this to happen again. And this is what I'm expecting to change. This is what I'm expecting you to do, because you have to set boundaries to protect yourself, to protect your heart.
That's so true.
But you definitely have to, be willing to actually forgive.
And then also is one of those things, again, we're talking about restoring love and trust. So then it's like, if you've done something to hurt me, but really I'm not willing to forgive you, and I'm not willing to make the decision to forgive you, in all sincerity, there's no way that trust can be restored.
That is so true.
I mean, if you are choosing not to forgive, you are choosing, and again, it's like what Woodrina said, it's a decision. And then, it's like, if you're not going to at least make the decision to forgive you, then there's no way we can actually be restored.
Yeah.
So it had forgiveness. And then you got to understand, it's like 7 days of a week. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying from experience for me.
Right.
Well, from all of us, but I'm just speaking from the man perspective. The man can mess up. You could be good on Sunday.
But all of us can mess up.
I know.
We human.
You are right. That's correct. But you could be good on Sunday, good on Monday, good on Tuesday, and then bam, Wednesday, you done messed up again. You done lit. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time it be the men kind of letting the wives down. I'm just saying from experience. You done lit them down, and then it's like, you know what I'm saying? You really need your spouse to forgive you, because man, what about them 3 days that I did do good? What about those 2 days that I did do good? But I just need you to still show me that daily forgiveness and that daily grace.
Now that is true. That is key, because it's like, if I'm showing you that daily forgiveness and grace, I'm understanding that I make mistakes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I was able to get to that place.
Right.
Because I had to realize, okay, I make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. You're trying to change. And if I see the changes, now that's one thing. If I see the change, you got to see the changes. If I see the changes, then that makes it easier for me to grant my heart permission to forgive daily.
It just made me kind of laugh, because the visuals in my mind, the visual in my mind was like when people go to church on Sunday, or now at home when they listen to the word and they really just, oh God, thank you for loving me. And it's just, oh Jesus, thank you, because you just fill my heart with so much love. So on Sunday, you showing your spouse forgiveness. But then by Wednesday, it done wore off, and then you back to being your regular self. That was the visual in my mind. But it's daily forgiveness.
Yeah, daily. So you have the key to your heart and mind, but you also have the authority to open the door to both.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
it. You know, and then like you said, and you've said several times, and we always remind couples, you know what? Me forgiving you doesn't mean I condone what you did.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So regardless of what it was that you did, you know, to break the trust, you know, me forgiving you doesn't mean that, boom, it's all right. It just means I'm willing to forgive and I'm willing to move forward, but I'm definitely not condoning what you've done.
Right. And like you said, I'm willing to move forward with my boundaries and expectations in place.
Right.
So
That's
basically,
true.
you
That's a
know,
great point.
it's like, yeah, I'm setting
That's a great
boundaries.
point.
I have expectations now. So I'm willing to, you know, to move forward. Now, understand, you know, I have to forgive you daily. So yeah, you're human. You may make a mistake, but I need to see change. I need to see progress.
No, change is required.
Yeah, and people have, and then you have to also remember forgiveness is for yourself.
Right.
Because like I said, you know, when you're going through restoring love and trust in your relationship, like you're on an emotional whirlwind.
Yeah,
it hurts. So, you know, when you can actually make the choice to forgive, you're being able to release some of those negative emotions. You're beginning to release that stuff to help your own self.
Yeah. You know, forgiveness is the key to open that emotional pressure release valve. You know what I'm saying? That's what starts with, you know, because it's like all that stuff just builds up, you know, because again, you were so hurt. And then, you know, that trust, you know, it's like, how could you do this? But all that stuff just builds up in your heart, in your mind. But like we say, you have the key to unlock both of those. And then what happens is forgiveness is what releases that pressure valve to just realize some of this pressure that's creating so many negative thoughts and negative energy. I get to choose to release that. And that again is a very important step in restoring love and trust.
Yes, so that is so true. That's good, Martez. That's good right there. So we just want you, you know, to remember that, you know, grant your heart permission to forgive daily.
You got to grant, give it permission.
So we're going to, you know, we're going to just, you know, we're going to get ready to take a quick break.
Okay.
But, you know, when we come back, you know, we're going to continue on discussing these steps to restore the love and trust in your relationship. So I'm licensed therapist Woodrina Layton.
And I'm Coach Martez.
And you're listening to the Coach Martez and Woodrina Layton show. And stay tuned because we'll be right back.
Let's let that music rock in the bands. Transformation Talk Radio. Let's go.
Coach Martez and Woodrina Layton show. We have been discussing 3 of the 7 proven steps to restore love and trust in your relationship. So we're going to share the remaining 4 next week. But so far we've shared resist playing the blame game and grant your heart permission to forgive daily. So the next step is.
So the next step is to remove frustration by more communication. You must start talking again to each other.
Yes, communication removes frustration. So although you may not want to talk to him or her, you have to start talking to each other, being intentional about making sure that you're talking to each other daily. And you don't want to be talking, you know, because you may have those emotions that may cause you to want to respond angrily, but you want to make sure that you're in a calm manner. You know, you don't want to you want to be assertive. So you want to make sure that, you know, I'm polite when I'm talking to you and I'm not coming at you like with an attitude and stuff, because being distant and short, exactly. Because I know I could be, you know, that's something I definitely used to do. I could be curt.
But you ain't the only one. I'm just saying,
yeah, I know. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I can relate.
Yeah, because we know, because a lot of times, again, we're talking about restoring love and trust. So when that love or that trust has been broken, from regardless of what has caused it, you know what we do, we kind of start going into silent corners, or we go into a silent mode or stealth mode. You know, I was in the military for 12 years. You almost go in stealth mode. So what is stealth mode? Stealth mode is actually where you live in the house, but I don't hardly see you. So in other words, you know, we live in the house, we take showers, you know, we watch TV, we get ready to go to work, but it's like, hey, he here, she here, we just keep moving. That's what I mean by stealth mode. And so when you're in stealth mode, you only want to say something to another person if it's absolutely necessary. If it's not necessary, then why are you talking to me?
Right.
You know I don't like you. You know I don't like you. So why are you talking to me? So that's what we're saying is communication removes frustration. So although that trust may have been broken, you have to start the conversations again. And it has to be real conversations. It can't just be, I left your food on the table.
Right. Yeah.
You know, your mama called. Did you pick up the kids?
Right.
Thanks. And then you going on to a whole nother space. Why are you talking to me? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you got to communicate. Yeah,
you have to be open and honest and truthful about your emotions. You know, this is the time when you want to really share, you know, your emotions and how you're really feeling, you know, in the relationship and about the relationship. And, you know, even if expressing how what happened hurt you and, you know, you want to just really be able to openly and honestly communicate, because it's going to help to reduce the anger. And it's also going to help you all to start, you know, becoming closer to one another and actually reconnecting emotionally again.
Right. Now, again, that's saying a lot, but that's why we're saying this is step 3.
Exactly.
So it's just like with anything else. You don't want to hear this and then go to step 3. Because if you just go to your spouse and start communicating openly and truthfully, and you haven't did step 1 about
blaming,
resist playing the blame game. So you want to come to them and start being honest and truthful, but then your honest and truthful is still you blame.
Right.
Your honest and truth is still it's your fault.
Right.
No. That's not what we're saying about being honest and truthful. Because you can't be honest and truthful without playing the blame game and without allowing your heart to forgive.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. This is step 3. This is not step 1.
Right.
So in step 3, because I'm not blaming you, I'm taking responsibility of what I could have done differently, what I could have said differently. And I've also just gave my heart permission to just know I'm gonna forgive you. So now that I'm gonna forgive you, I'm coming in a different attitude. I'm coming with a different energy. So now when I want to talk to you openly about my feelings, you've already seen change in me. You felt change in me. Because this is one of the things I used to always tell Woodrina for years, and I want to tell you. If you walk in the house and you don't open your mouth, and your mouth is shut the whole time, trust me, your energy has already been talking. So you'll say, I didn't even say that to them. I didn't even, no. Your energy, it speaks. So that's why what we're saying is, no, you have to actually communicate. Because your energy may be wanting to say one thing, but you have to be honest about, but this is what I'm feeling. And I understand I may feel this way, but I know I want to move towards a solution.
Right. And this is the communication, that's the positive communication. You know, this is this is not, like you said, this is not the negative communication. This is the rebuilding and restoring your emotional bond communication. You know, so this is when, you know, I'm coming to you, I'm open, I'm honest, I'm being vulnerable with you. And I'm, you know, because we're beginning to rebuild our love and trust with one another. We're talking about, you know, good times and, you know, we're being positive. So this is that type, you know, when we're saying communication, as far as step 3, talk, positive talk.
But let me say it. No, I love that. I love that you brought that up, because this is what's important too. When you know that you resisted the blame game, you're not pointing fingers. You know that you are giving your heart permission to grant daily. So you're kind of living in that place of forgiveness. And now you are here at where you want to talk. If it starts going to where it starts getting a little negative or things, stop. You know what I'm saying? Don't push it. Because again, discommunication only works in rebuilding trust if we're in a good space. If we're not in a good space, then what I want you to just say is, you know what? I feel that this energy is changing, and say my energy. Because you know, if you put it on the other person, they already.
But you ain't putting it on the other person because we're not playing the blame game.
I know, but I'm just saying, if you say I feel the energy is changing, you know, that person can be like, whose energy?
Oh yeah,
my energy ain't changing. But I feel good. I feel like we move. I feel like, you know, let's keep talking. But you really know it's not. Then that's what I'm saying. Just say, you know what? I feel that I'm not still having the same positive energy like I need to have this conversation. And I would just like for us to just table it and just kind of come back together, because I definitely want to focus on solutions and not focus on problems. You know, can we schedule another time to come back and talk about this? You know, that I know I can have my head clear. Oh no, that's good, because you just want to make sure that you know you're remembering that. And then so let's go ahead and start sharing some of these. So we have some tips that we want to share to help you to be able to start the communication, you know, between one another. Remember though, this is step 3. Step 3. Don't just do, you know, I heard Coach Martez and Woodrina say, you know what, I just need to talk to you openly. I just need to be truthful with you and tell you how I feel. Right. Please don't go to step 3 without step 1 and 2, because it's going to create chaos. And then, you know, it may not be chaos for us, because that means, you know, you might have to go sign up for a session to come on, try to get ready. Because you're going to need some help in that one. Right, exactly. But I just want to say so basically, we're going to share 7 tips for you now to just restart that communication. So, you know, you want to make sure that the time is focused, you know, that you're focused on one another and you're listening and learning. And I know we shared this one, you shared it earlier in another episode. You want to make sure that, you know, the TV is off, the phones kids may be down. The phones are down and out of the way. You're not looking at your phone, because you want to give your spouse that undivided attention, because we're rebuilding our love and trust. So this is part of our emotional bonding. So I want to let you know that I love you. I'm validating your feelings. So my time is going to be focused on you, listening and learning from you. Right. And that's important, because what that does is, when you tell your spouse, I'm focused on our time together, because again, when love or trust has been broken, what the person feels when their love and trust has been broken is, you chose to put someone else or something before me. So then what happens is, by you actually saying, I'm focused on you, that's the new start of letting them know you are the priority. Us being healed, us coming back together is what's important to me. And then, like you shared about learning, see, it's important because a lot of times, you know, we may listen to each other, but we really don't listen to learn. We just listen to respond, or we listen to react. But what you really want to do in rebuilding love and trust is listen to learn how you thought, or what your spouse, how it made them feel. What were you thinking? Let me understand how you process without judgment. That's good. Exactly. And so, and also you must agree to not interrupt while the other person is talking. So, you know, that, but before you start, you want to make sure you say, okay, y'all set your ground rules. You know, because we're rebuilding our love and trust. So, you know, we want to give each other a chance to actually express their feelings. So, you know, I want, you know, we're making a commitment to listen and learn. So therefore, I'm not going to interrupt you while you're talking. So in other words, can your spouse trust you to keep your mouth shut while they talking? You know what I'm saying? Can they trust you that you really respect and have enough priority, or place them in a place of priority, that you're going to listen till they stop? You know what I'm saying? You're going to listen to theirs. Can I trust that you're going to listen to me without interrupting me? Because again, if we start going down that road, you know what? I love you. I can see things are kind of, you know, changing inside of me. And I really want to just kind of schedule at a different time. Exactly. That's good. And then you want to make sure that you're not blaming. We said that earlier, but during this time, no blame is acceptable. You want to think positive, stay positive, and speak positive. So let me give you an example when you're having that truthful conversation and you're being open and transparent. again, when we saying no blame is acceptable in the conversation, well, honestly, if you would have did this,
that's blame.
That's blame. Just resist from going anywhere about but, because you know one of our kids is good on that but it's like no, it's no but. I'm just listening without interrupting.
Exactly.
And it's I'm taking responsibility.
Right, exactly.
No blame.
Yep. You want to make sure
if you would have cooked for me, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. Come on.
Yeah, don't start your sentences with you, start them with I. Exactly. And so I said, did I share think positive, stay positive? So you want to think positive, stay positive, and speak positive.
So tell me, how do you do that? Because you know you said earlier. I'm not just trying to throw you up under the bus.
I'm very intentional about. It's like to think positive, stay for somebody like me, where that's part of my genetic makeup as far as going to the negative. I'm always telling myself, stay positive. So I'm constantly telling myself that while I'm having a conversation, stay positive, think positive. So because if I think positive, I'm going to speak positive. If you think negative, you're going to speak negative. So I'm just constantly tell yourself. So, and then like Martez say, once you can't wheel yourself back in, you need to say, you know what, I need to take a break, and we're gonna come back and continue this conversation later.
I love you, and that's what I'm saying. Because you being transparent, you being honest. You know what I'm saying? I love you for that. Because honestly, Woodrina ain't lying. You know what? But honestly, what my wife is doing, I just want to free somebody to understand this. Is it's okay to say, be positive out loud.
Oh yeah,
I know you'll say it out loud. You just say it out loud.
Yeah.
Be positive, Woodrina. Think positive, Woodrina.
Yeah.
Well, that's all. I know. I hear Jessica saying, y'all, come on, let's take a break. We gotta
go to a quick break, y'all. But when we come back, we're gonna finish, talking about these tips to improving your communication, along with the 7 proven steps to restore love and trust in your relationship.
Next year, when we take a break, we're gonna have a sponsor by.
That's right. What I'm talking about. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Let's go. What's going on, everybody? We are back on the Coach Martez and Woodrina Layton show. Today, we have been discussing 3 of the 7 steps of how to restore love and trust in your relationship. We will share the remaining 4 on next week, so you definitely want to join us next week also. And if not, make sure you listen to this show again to be even prepared for next week.
Exactly.
So again, restoring love and trust in your relationship.
And before we went to break, we were sharing 7 tips to restart the communication between one another. And so the next one that we have here is setting a reasonable time to talk and respect one another's time. So basically, it's
tell us about that.
Yeah, so basically,
reasonable time.
Exactly. So
I like this.
Exactly.
I want to hear this.
So don't call me while I'm at work and say we need to talk, and it's a serious conversation.
Oh, yeah, that's real.
It's like I'm at work, like I can't talk right now.
That's real.
So respect one another's time and actually schedule a time that works for you both. It can't be all about, oh, well, this is a good time for me. No, it has to work for us both so that we both can be invested in the conversation.
I like that. And then don't be texting either, because sometimes people they'll put a paragraph in a text or 2 paragraphs.
I think that's just
the
millennials.
Because
we don't do that. But that younger generation, they just love to send.
Well, we will say, because we enjoy our young.
Oh, we do. I just can't do that because, they will in a whole text message. So don't do that. Right. Basically, when you're working on restoring love and trust, set a time so that you all can talk face to face.
Right.
And make sure you're respecting one another's time.
And then again, with the reasonable time, it's just about understanding. If your wife got to pick up the kids, if she got to pick up dinner, if she got to bathe the baby,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? You don't want to take her through all of that and then be like, don't forget, but we need to talk. Or while she's doing things, you know, looking, you almost done. You know what I'm saying? Don't
Right.
forget we need to talk. Or I mean, it could be vice versa. It could be the husband. So when we say reasonable, what reasonable means is also respectable.
Yeah.
So you're choosing a time that's understanding. I'm respecting your schedule.
Right.
I'm respecting what your day has been like,
Mhm.
or what traffic. Cause just think
Yeah.
about you.
Woo.
If I wanted to talk to you after driving in Atlanta traffic, you like, I'm done.
I'm like,
You know what I'm saying?
we gotta do
You
that on
definitely
a
is like, ain't
Saturday
nothing I
morning.
can do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, when we say reasonable, reasonable is also respectable time
Right.
that works for the both of you.
Exactly. And so while you're listening and learning, you know, be committed to taking personal responsibility,
about that.
like we said.
Mhm.
And then you want to say a prayer of peace
that's
and
powerful.
love before having the
Yeah,
conversation.
that's powerful. Now we may have said this as the last one of the tips, but honestly, you know what? You really want to just say, you know what? We need a spirit of peace to be over us.
Yes.
Because
Mhm.
again, we're talking about restarting the
Yes.
communication and restarting how you all are going to talk.
Mhm.
You really just, you know, let some peace, let love, let compassion be over me as I'm getting ready
Yeah.
to have this conversation with my spouse. You know, and I would just say, you know, hold hands when you say a prayer
Mhm.
to just boom, just let peace be over us, that
Mhm.
we can have this conversation without those ill and those hatred and those feelings of hate or evil or
Yeah.
judgment towards one another.
Yeah.
Prayer is vitally important. And again, we say these are proven steps because these are steps that helped us to get from a very bad and broken place
Mhm.
to a very blessed and happy place. And we've also helped couples all over the country to do this. So I'm just telling you, prayer makes a huge difference in
Exactly.
your life, in your communication, in your relationship.
Yeah.
That's real talk.
Yeah, and then when you said, you know, because we're restoring, we're you know, we're really kind of starting all over
Right.
again. So it's kind of like just going back to like thinking about how you communicated with
So
one
true.
another when you first met.
Right.
You
So
know,
true.
it's like you had you know, you wouldn't have thought about like talking to me in a disrespectful manner or
Right.
you
That's so
know,
true.
think
Mhm.
about that. Let's go back to the beginning and date one another all over again because we should always, you know, be dating. But when you're
I
restoring love
want
and
to date
trust,
you again because you pretty.
okay, thank you, sir.
You pretty. I like your hair.
Thank you. When we restore love and trust, you know, we want to just go back to just dating and getting to know each other all over again. So, you know, just to recap the steps that we talked about today, we started, you know, we're discussing the 7 steps to restore love and trust in your relationship. So basically the first step is to resist playing the blame game.
Resist playing the blame game.
You want to grant your heart permission to forgive daily.
Yeah, give yourself permission.
Yes, walk in daily grace and forgiveness.
Because we're gonna need it.
Yes, we need it. We need it you're gonna need it every day throughout your marital relationship to the day you leave the earth. That's key.
I remember you used to love grace forever.
Yeah, I did. I used to love that. Yeah, because that's what you got to have, grace forever. And then the third step is communication.
Removes frustration.
It removes frustration.
You gotta talk.
You gotta talk.
You gotta refuse to be silent and just be going in stealth mode. You gotta talk to them.
Yeah. And you want to remember, you know, the steps, you know, to restoring the communication.
Yeah, the conversation.
Yeah.
How do we restart the conversation?
Yeah. So you want to remember the steps that we just shared about that. So, you know, those are some steps. We're going to share the next 4 next week, but, you know, start with that. And it's like Coach Martez said earlier, don't start with communication if you haven't started with step 1, which is resist playing the blame game, because you have to stop blaming first before
and the
you
person
can get to
needs to know you're not blaming them, so their defense system can go down.
Yes.
That automatic emotional defense system, when they know you're not blaming them, it's not on alert mode. It's actually opening up to you.
Yeah, exactly. So we want to just remind everybody we share about it. We're gonna do it every week.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do this every show.
You know about our 5th annual Married for Life walk
in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's go. Here in the ATL.
April 22nd and 23rd.
Yes.
We want you all to join us here in Atlanta.
Yes.
You know, for the 5th annual Married for Life walk, bringing couples together to just strengthen their marital bond. Because
stand up for marriage.
Exactly. We all need it, while also promoting the importance of coaching and
Counseling.
professional coaching and
Mhm.
counseling in a
Mhm.
relationship, because
Mhm.
sometimes we need
gotta have
help.
maintenance.
Yeah.
All of us do. I don't
Exactly.
care who you are. We all need maintenance. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So, we want to invite you all out to that. I want to remind everybody, because I don't think we've done it this episode. If you want to get in contact with us,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can
we
reach
forgot all
us
about that.
at dreambuilderscoaching.net,
Mhm.
on Facebook, Dream Builders Marriage Coaching and Counseling,
Mhm.
Instagram at Coach Martez, at Woodrina Layton,
Mhm.
Twitter at Coach Martez, at Woodrina L.
Mhm.
So, we want to make sure of that, and we want to actually tell everybody about our book too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Get a copy of our book. If you know anyone that has had to have broken trust in their marriage or trying to overcome infidelity from a cheating spouse, A Blessed Affair. Be careful what you curse. Your curse could be your blessing. I'm telling you, it would encourage their hearts and really get them to a place and understand an affair does not have to destroy our marriage, our family, or the dreams of our future. It does not have to be. And you're looking at two people that chose to make a decision. It's not. Just because that may have been a distraction, it does not have to cause destruction to our dreams. That's real.
That's real. And and that's with anything that, because as married couples, we're going to experience challenges. Yeah. Everybody does. Everybody experiences challenges in their relationship. And you can overcome them. We're a testament to it. There are several other couples that are a testament to it. Definitely. So just remember these steps of restoring love and trust. Make sure that you actually start applying them if you're someone who needs to restore trust. And anyway, all these steps are good, even if you're not at a place of restoring love and trust, just to use them in your marital relationship, just to help to make things better between you all, to increase your intimacy and your marital bond. There's just still good steps to apply in your relationship and to live by on a daily basis.
And I want to make sure and shout out our vision partners and the marriage ambassadors with us, Ronnie DeVoe and Shamar DeVoe, who have been with us from day one with the Married for Life walk, just being there. This is our fifth annual one that we're doing, but I definitely got to shout out the DeVoes for all of their support, their commitment, and everything they do to help us to make this a success. Of course, we have excellent board members and stuff like that with us, and a great team. But I just definitely want to shout out the DeVoes. We'll shout out everybody else the next time.
All right. So remember, healthy marriages do not happen by chance, but by choice. Be honest with yourself. Be willing to be held accountable to the things that your partner may say to you without giving them back judgment or pushback. Just make a commitment to accept change without conflict.
Let's go. Woodrina and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Coach Martez and Woodrina Layton show. We had a wonderful time. Please join us every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. Central, and 12 p.m. Pacific time. We would love to hear from you. Be sure to connect with us on social media, and we look forward to reading your comments. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you back here next time on Transformation Talk Radio.
Yes,
let's go.
Have a great week.
Thank you for tuning in to the Coach Martez and Woodrina Show on Transformation Talk Radio with certified professional life and marriage coach Martez Layton and licensed therapist Woodrina Layton. Understanding love, accepting truth, and changing perspective. Coach Martez and Woodrina Layton have been working with owl-bound couples to strengthen their relationships for the betterment of their lives for 20 years, and it is in their divine role in life to do so. For more information or to schedule an appointment with Coach Martez and Woodrina, go to dreambuilderscoaching.net. That is dreambuilderscoaching.net.